The 2017 edition of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup is currently ongoing in India, and of course we have all the highlights of that particular tournament on the show today. Ghana set up an all-African quarterfinals after beating Niger 2-0 early on Wednesday morning, and of course you have some very tantalizing games coming up in the quarterfinal of that prestigious Under-17 tournament. Remember, Nigeria has the highest amount of victories in that tournament. 5 times Nigeria has won it, and only Brazil is close by to Nigeria. Also remember that it was match day 3 in the UEFA Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday this past week, and of course all the giants were in action in the Champions League as well. Welcome to Limitless Soccer. My name is Bayonle Arashi. I'm always very excited bringing the show your way every Saturday. Welcome to the show, and of course let's start the show with the highlights of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. You know, we'll be featuring only the African teams that participated in that tournament, of course in the group stage and as well as the second round. But from the quarterfinal stage, we bring you all the highlights of the tournament. Enjoy the highlights of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, and of course I'll be back on the show. Sit back and enjoy Limitless Soccer this week. It is still Limitless Soccer. I hope you enjoyed those highlights from India, all the way from India at the ongoing FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Now we switch quickly to that very glamorous football tournament between football teams across Europe, and of course that is UEFA Champions League. Of course on Tuesday, actions were across the continent of Europe and as well as on Wednesday, but right now we bring you the actions for Tuesday. Remember, the champions of the tournament, Real Madrid, were in action against Tottenham Hotspur from England. That was actually the game of that Tuesday. Very interesting game, and Tottenham Hotspur did something that was quite surprising to many of us, of course getting a draw against Real Madrid. The game ended 1-1, but of course Manchester City, under the tutelage of that special coach Pep Guardiola, gained a 2-1 advantage over Napoli at the Etihad Stadium. And of course some other great teams were in action that day. Liverpool defeated Maribor 7-0. All the highlights of the Tuesday action in the Champions League up next on Limitless Soccer, and I'll be back. Welcome back. It is still Limitless Soccer with yours truly on the show today. Of course, now we'll come back home here to Houston, Texas. And of course, you know, we have a soccer team right here in Houston as well. We call it Houston Dynamo, the Orange Boys. They were away at Sporting Kansas City last weekend. Of course, they got, well, what some of us considered a decent result. It was a 0-0 draw. And of course, they are holding on firmly to the 5th position in the western region of the Major League Soccer. Of course, we have the highlights of that game, Sporting Kansas City versus Houston Dynamo. I think they have not done so bad if you look at the entire season. That is Houston Dynamo, but I believe they can do way better and of course compete at the highest level in that Major League Soccer. Enjoy the highlight of Sporting Kansas City versus Houston Dynamo on Limitless Soccer. As I always say every week, this show is open to sponsorship. For sponsorship details, you can always reach me, yours truly, Bayonle Arashi, on all these platforms right now showing on the screen. We are very interactive as social media platform at Midas Soccer on all social media platforms, or on the phone number on the screen right now. Up next is the Wednesday action in the UEFA Champions League. As we draw down the curtain on the show for this week, all the big teams were in action on Wednesday, with respect to all the ones in action on Tuesday, of course. But anytime you hear the mention of Barcelona, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, and of course Chelsea, you know the big boys are in action. So next on the show is the Wednesday highlights in the UEFA Champions League, and I'll be back to round off the show for this week. Stay tuned and of course enjoy those great goals across Europe. Well, that's the much we can bring you on the show today. You know, it's just for half an hour. Of course, it is better for it to be short and for you to enjoy it than for it to be too long. And of course, we get you really, really bored. That's our time on Limitless Soccer this weekend. Till I see you guys again next weekend, God willing. My name is Bayonle Arashi, and I'm yours in sport. Bye-bye now.